In the next 30 minutes, we'll get you news from across the world, starting with international news. Pope Francis arrived in Chile on Monday evening. This is the first stop in a trip that also includes Peru. The Argentine pontiff will begin his trip in the Chilean capital of Santiago, then head to Temuco. There's a planned mass for today morning in Santiago, which is expected to attract more than 500,000 people. A couple was arrested in California for allegedly holding captive their 13 children. The 13 malnourished siblings ranging in age from 2 to 29 were rescued by police in California from the family home where some of them had been chained to beds. The couple has been charged with torture. Libya's Coast Guard rescued around 400 migrants stranded in several locations off the coast of Libya in the Mediterranean Sea. Migrants on the two boats had been spotted after complications with engines left them stranded at sea. The Coast Guard rescue ship's commander said there were no casualties. Libya is the most common departure point for migrants trying to reach Europe from Africa by sea. An explosion brought down a residential building in the Belgian city of Antwerp on Monday evening. The police said the incident was not related to terrorism. 5 people were injured in the explosion. Belgium has been on high alert since deadly suicide bombings in 2016 and a wave of Islamist attacks across Europe. Firefighters in Lawrence, Kansas battled a raging fire at a large motel that partially collapsed during the blaze. There were no immediate reports of injuries. The entire 3-story structure was engulfed in fire and smoke, with flames shooting up through the roof. The motel has been completely destroyed. Romania's Prime Minister Tudose has resigned. The Prime Minister resigned on Monday after his Social Democrat Party leaders voted against him in an overwhelming vote. Tudose is the second premier ousted by the party in less than 7 months. The vote comes 1 week after Tudose accused his interior minister publicly of lying to him. Argentina has created a new bicameral congressional commission to investigate the cause of the disappearance of Ara San Juan submarine, which was lost at sea last November, with 44 crew members on board. The Legislative Commission will have up to a year to report its findings. The last communication with the submarine was on November 15 when it reported an electrical problem. A massive international search and rescue operation turned up no traces of the missing submarine. Hope of rescuing survivors was abandoned on November 30th. Argentina is still searching for the submarine. Greece's parliament passed a number of reforms demanded by international lenders in exchange for fresh bailout funds. The bill introduces a new electronic process for foreclosures on overdue loans, restructures family benefits, and makes it harder to call a strike. Greece's leftist government needed a past the reforms in order to conclude its third bailout review and unlock about 6.5 billion euros in bailout loans. There were protests outside parliament as well. The bill was passed. The police fired tear gas to disperse protesters who hurled stones, flares and petrol bombs at them. Russian investigators opened a criminal case into a knife attack at a school in Perm City. The attack left 15 people injured. There were reports that 2 masked men armed with knives had burst into the school and attacked pupils, but authorities said the attack grew out of a knife fight between the 2 pupils. Time now to take a look at national news from India. Thousands of people throng at Spituk Monastery in Leh to witness the yearly enchanting 2-day festival popularly known as Spituk Gustar. Gustar is a religious festival where lamas perform the cham dance. The cham is a choreographed dance performed only by lamas. The dances symbolize the destruction of evil spirits. The festival ends by burning effigy, which is a symbol of destruction of evil. More than 800 visually impaired athletes participated in the three-day National Athletics Meet for the Blind. The meet was held at the Guru Nanak Stadium between January 13 and 15. Around 114 events were held during the meet. The athletics meet was last held in 2012. Thousands of home guards demonstrated at Lower PMT Square in Odisha on Monday, demanding regularization of jobs and increase in remuneration. The protesters threatened to intensify their protest if the government failed to fulfill their 7-point charter of demands. The developments comes after the state government increased the remunerations of home guards in December. The state has more than 17,000 home guards who are paid on a daily basis. Some youngsters in Pune have formed a WhatsApp group called Stop the V Ritual to spread awareness against the practice of determining a bride's virginity. The youngsters have also filed a police complaint claiming that the custom is against the constitution and illegal. The group also says that the so-called virginity test is usually done without the woman's consent. The central government has resolved to identify the number of children out of school in the country. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said a subcommittee on out-of-school children will submit its final report on January 31st. There is yet no standardized definition of out-of-school children, and it has been recommended that states should conduct joint surveys to identify such children. The High Court will continue to hear several petitions seeking action by the state government and civic authorities to stop the spread of dengue and chikungunya in the national capital and adjoining areas. The High Court has come down heavily on Municipal Corporation of Delhi for failing to clear garbage in unauthorized colonies. And now it's time to look at some stories from the world of entertainment. Singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran grabbed 4 nominations at the 2018 Brit Awards. The singer, whose album Divide became the fastest-selling album of all time for a male solo artist in Britain, was nominated in key categories including the Best Album and Best Solo Artist. Blockbuster movie Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle roots in North American box office with collections grossing up to $289.5 million in the 4th week of the movie's release. The adventure comedy stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jack Black, and comedic rock star Kevin Hart in the lead roles. Bollywood powerhouse Madhuri Dixit took to Instagram to reveal her first look of her debut Marathi film titled Bucket List. In the poster, the actor is seen donning the look of a traditional woman who plays the role of a mother, sister, friend, and a housewife.